The Smiling Man, a tall, silent menace that approaches waltzing with a wide smile. Too wide. I don't like it. Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions, the channel that loves to talk about history, politics, and science as much as we do creepy fiction. Today we have an eerie what if for you as we ask, what if the Smiling Man was real? Before we get into this video, I want to ask you guys what the scariest thing you've ever seen in real life was. I don't think I've seen anything as freaky as the smiling chappie, but I did once see an emergency forensics tent in the road with bloody rubber gloves nearby. Ooh. I also have to say I'm writing this with severe toothache, which makes me think of this man's smiling face as pretty darn terrifying. Do let me know once again what the scariest thing you've ever seen is in the comments section down below. Also don't forget to like this video and share it with a friend. Okay, the Smiling Man. The legend of the Smiling Man came around about 6 years ago when Blue Tidal posted a story about their late night encounter with a mysterious and very unsettling man. The story was posted in the Let's Not Meet subreddit and ended up receiving 1.2 thousand upvotes. The teller describes walking between 1 and 2 AM in the morning when they came across a silhouette of a man who was dancing towards them. They assumed that he was drunk until he danced a little closer, with a painfully wide smile on his face with his eyes fixed to the sky. What is this about? The man then danced at the walker, basically acting like a huge creep. Later the Smiling Man started taking giant exaggerated tiptoed steps in the style of a cartoon character sneaking up on someone. He then ran at the walker, who eventually got away but never forgot his creepy smiling face. Later the story left such a mark on the internet that Michael Evans even adapted it into a short film that received over 10 million views. Creepy, smiling, and menacing, suffice to say the Smiling Man truly captured the imagination. So, what if he was real? Well, Blue Tidal swears that he is. He wrote in a follow-up post, "To anyone doubting the truth in the story, I assure you it happened. I'm not afraid of ghosts, devils, or monsters. It's people that frighten me." Honestly, I'm with him on that, and also, who is he and what does he want from us? Well, the Redditor who wrote the story in the first place conducted a Q&A on the social media platform and gave us more information. He said that the altercation took place in Seattle in the United States, and that while some people had more supernatural speculations, he simply believes that the Smiling Man was an insane person. Whatever he may be, a lot of other people across the United States claim to have seen a man that fits his description. Tall, manically smiling, dancing a weird box step, and wearing an old-style dark suit. Blue Tidal also mentioned he had a series of dreams about the man after the incident. If we were gonna run wild with the whole who and what if, I would go with the Smiling Man being a creep in the style of Slender Man. He stalks his victims conscious and unconscious before challenging them to a dance-off duel, which they'll inevitably fail, after which he kills them. Somehow. I'm not sure how. If that type of spook were real, I would say avoid Seattle at all costs and hope that the Smiling Man doesn't dance his way up and down the Pacific. If you live in that area, an evacuation may be a bit extreme, but I certainly wouldn't go out walking alone at night. The authorities probably wouldn't take the story of a murderous dancer seriously until there was a body count, after which I imagine they would get looking for the creepster. I imagine they would start by investigating local institutions to see if they have any escaped patients, although if he is a Slender-style creeper, who knows where he could have come from? Maybe it's the very depths of hell itself. Maybe we would need an Ed and Lorraine Warren-style folk on the hunt. The Smiling Man could very well be possessed. If the Smiling Man was real in this way, it would have many wider implications about the reality of things that go bump in the night. If he is a real horror story nightmare, perhaps this means all of our worst fears are true. Maybe Seattle is the hellmouth and we need Buffy on the case. Side note though guys, the Smiling Man does kinda remind me of the gentlemen from Buffy, which are the scariest TV show creeps to have ever popped up on my screen and in my nightmares. In reality though, if the Smiling Man is real like Blue Tidal claims, he is likely either a man who took way too many drugs or someone who is mentally ill. Either way, he is not necessarily a menace to society. There is a chance he was consciously trying to freak out the young man in the streets, and there is a chance he thought it was funny. Maybe he's still out there somewhere looking for a dance partner, although I have to be honest, I'd rather you than me. Whether or not the smiling man is real, I hope that this story, scary as it is, reminds us that it isn't always safe to go out alone in the middle of the night, and that being sensibly on guard is a reasonable thing to be. Always tell someone where you're going and have an emergency plan for situations where you might run into someone dodgy. Always have a charged phone and always have an emergency number saved. Honestly, that's the best advice I can offer. So guys, do you think the smiling man is real? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Also, let me know what you would do if you came face to face with him. Honestly, I'm really interested to hear your thoughts, and don't forget to let me know what the scariest thing you've ever seen in real life is. For now, I'm off out of here, and I'm very much hoping I don't run into a smiling dancing maniac on the way home. Although, actually, I guess that does sound like a little bit of fun. I'm your host, Rebecca Felgate. I'll catch you in the next video, but until then, stay curious, stay alert, and never ever stop questioning.